Have you ever wondered why sitting completely alone in a crowded room feels like paradise to some people, while to others it feels like absolute torture? What if the person avoiding Friday night drinks is actually giving their brain a massive neurological reward that noisy social groups completely destroy? If you have ever tried to figure out the psychology of people who prefer to be alone, you have probably run into massive misunderstandings. Society treats staying home on a Friday night like a red flag, but science shows something totally different. Today, we are breaking down why millions of introverts crave solitude, how their brains actually work, and why choosing to be by yourself is a sign of deep mental strength. There is a huge secret hidden inside the nervous system of an introvert that changes how they experience the entire world. Let us start with a simple Friday night scenario that almost everyone has lived through at least once. Imagine working 40 hours at an office, dealing with nonstop questions, phone calls, and hallway small talk. By 5 in the afternoon, your friend texts you saying 10 people are going out for drinks, loud music, and cheap burgers. For one person, that text message feels like winning a prize because they get hyped up around crowds. For an introvert, reading that invite feels like looking at a tiny battery icon flashing red at 1%. It is not that they hate their friends or despise having fun with other people. It is just that social settings cost them mental energy, while solitude is the only charger that actually works. Back in 1921, a Swiss doctor named Carl Jung gave us the real definition of this difference. He explained that introversion is not about social fear, but about where you direct and receive your energy. Extroverts pull energy from outside things like bright lights, big rooms, and lots of voices talking at the same time. Introverts generate their energy from the inside, like their own thoughts, quiet hobbies, and calm spaces. Think of it like two different kinds of phones trying to run on the exact same battery system. An extrovert charges their battery when they are plugged into the wall of a giant, loud room. An introvert loses 10% of their battery for every 30 minutes they spend in that same noisy room. So when an introvert says no to an invite, they are not being rude or stuck up. They are literally preventing a total system shutdown so they can function tomorrow. Now, you might wonder why this battery drains so fast in the first place. The answer comes down to pure brain wiring and a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is the reward chemical your brain releases when something exciting happens, like eating sugar or meeting someone new. Research from Dr. Colin DeYoung at the University of Minnesota showed that extroverts have a very hungry dopamine reward network. They need big, loud, fast stimulation to feel good and satisfied throughout the day. Introverts have the exact same dopamine, but their brains are way more sensitive to it. Too much noise, too many faces, and too much talking makes an introvert feel flooded and overwhelmed really fast. Instead of dopamine, introverts prefer a totally different brain chemical called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine gets released when you read a book, focus deeply on a single problem, or sit quietly in a park. It gives you a gentle, calming feeling of peace rather than a frantic burst of noisy excitement. So while one person needs a concert to feel happy, another just needs a warm mug of tea and a notebook. Yet the psychology of people who prefer to be alone gets twisted into something negative every single day. Our schools, open plan offices, and family dinners are almost entirely built for loud, talkative people. Think about standard classrooms where teachers give high grades just for speaking up first, even if the answer is completely shallow. Think about modern offices where 4 dozen desks sit in one huge, echoey room with zero privacy walls. This creates a massive challenge for introverts, who often get pushed into feeling like something is wrong with them. They get asked, "Why are you so quiet?" or told you need to come out of your shell more often. Imagine being told every single week that your natural way of thinking is a bad habit you need to fix. It leads to what psychologists call social masking, which is pretending to be loud just to survive the workday. Masking is exhausting because you are constantly acting out a character that does not match your real identity. By the time you get home from a day of masking, your brain feels totally fried and raw. You do not want to talk to your partner, you do not want to cook, and you just stare at the wall. This is what researchers call the introvert hangover, and it is a very real physical and mental crash. During an introvert hangover, your brain struggles to process any more words, lights, or emotional demands. You literally need hours of quiet time in a low-stimulus room just to reset your nervous system to baseline. When an introvert finally gets that quiet time, something truly magical starts to happen inside their brain. Brain scans reveal that people who like solitude show high activity in an area called the prefrontal cortex. This is the brain center for deep thinking, creative problem-solving, planning, and rich self-awareness. When you remove other people from the room, your brain switches on its default mode network. This network connects memories, sparks new creative ideas, and helps you make sense of hard life lessons. Some of the greatest writers, artists, and scientists throughout history did their best work while hiding away from everyone. Albert Einstein famously said that the monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. People who enjoy being alone also build stronger emotional independence because they do not rely on others to feel complete. They can sit with their own sadness, work through their own problems, and enjoy their own company without panic. That means when an introvert actually chooses to spend time with you, it is the biggest compliment possible. They are giving up their most precious, peaceful alone time just to share space with your energy. They value deep, meaningful one-on-one bonds over having 50 shallow acquaintances they barely know. Being alone is not a punishment or a flaw, but a powerful space where you can rebuild your strength and figure out who you truly are. Never let the world convince you that your quiet nature is a weakness, because your ability to find peace within yourself is one of the greatest superpowers you will ever own.